All right, one more of these kind of extra problems, something to consider again from a personal financial standpoint, and nonetheless the issues are the same that often come up with businesses, right? If you had a loan, if you had bonds outstanding, should you refinance those if you have the ability to? And so this is just some ways to take a look at whether or not or what the answer ought to be. And you always have to make some assumptions when you do these, and so the answer's never necessarily clear cut. And that's kind of what we'll look at here when we do this Ole and Lena thing, right? Does it make sense for Ole and Lena to refinance? Well, here's the what we're looking at is they got a $100,000 loan. Their current rate is 6%. The proposed loan would have a rate of 4%. Okay, term is 300 months left on it, or 25 years, and we'd propose to do the same term, right? But on the proposed loan, they're going to have a cost up front of $5,000, right? So does it make sense then to refinance? And I also put in here that current CD rates are 2%, and the reason for that is we have to do some calculations about, what do we do with the $5,000, for example, if we don't refinance, right? Because we could invest that, and we could put it into the CD for 2%. That might be a low assumption. Maybe we're a little more aggressive, and that's why I say we have to make assumptions sometimes and go with those. And this is the safe rate. Okay, and oftentimes that's what we would use when we're doing assumptions on problems like this, is what we would call a safe rate. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's get Excel going here, and we'll expand it. And obviously, I'm not going to do the problems for you, but I just kind of want to explain it. And again, you may want to enter it kind of like I have it there. So we've got the balance or loan amount, right? And you may want to set this up where you've got the current, and then proposed. Okay, and you can make these ones maybe a little narrower or something, and take a look here. Okay, these ones might have to be a little wider. And you guys have put in your $100,000. Maybe I'll put in $200,000. Nah, that's too easy. 175. Okay, and I've got rate. And maybe you want to do this. I've got 6% and 4%. I'll use 5% and 3%. Maybe you just want to do this. Use your equal and put 0.05 divided by 12. Okay, that gives me my monthly rate then, right? Okay, and in this case I'll put in 3.5. Oops, but I wanted to put in equal to divided by 12. Okay. And then I have term, or NPER, number of periods is 300 for both. Right? Then it's really for what I want to do now. It's a simple matter of calculating what my payments are going to be for each of these, right? Okay. And then I'm going to get a difference. And let's just say let's say this one, I'm going to really throw some goofball numbers out here, but let's say this one's 1,500 and this one is 1,350. Okay. My difference, and these would be negative numbers, by the way. I should have put those in like that. 1,500, and this is, minus 1,350. And so my difference is 150 then, right? Now, what I put down here, I said you can calculate the present value of the payment difference and determine if it exceeds the $5,000. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Well, yeah, let's move this 150. Let's put it down here, and we'll call that my payment. Okay, we can call it payment difference, that's fine. Okay, and I'm gonna have the same, because I'm gonna save that, right? I'm gonna save that each month for the next 25 years, 300 months, right? And so my NPER is 300, and my rate I gave you, which is the discount rate, is 2%. Oops, let's hit equal 0.02 divided by 12, right? Okay. And then I can calculate here what my present value is. So I simply calculate the present value of this $150, okay? And I might want to do that using this as a negative number. And I just compare that then to the $5,000 that I have existing. Okay, you see what I'm doing there? I'm going to save $150 a month. So is that $150 a month that I save over time, over the next 300 months? If I calculate the present value of that, what's that payment stream worth today? Okay, is that equal to or greater than the $5,000? Good question. Okay. Alternatively, I said you can calculate the future value of the difference in the payments and calculate the future value of $5,000. Compare those two once again. Okay. So you basically do the same thing in this case. I've got the payment difference. I've got all these things. I can just copy this and paste it down here. Okay. But then I've also got, let's call this my present value here is 5,000. I'm putting it up above so we know that it's a little bit different. Okay. I'm going to copy these over to here. Okay. And now I'm just solving for future value of those. So what's the future value of this 150? So if I were to take what I'm calculating here is if I take this $150 that I'm going to save and I put it into a CD, right, at the rate of 2%. Oopsie. At the rate of 2% per year, okay. How does that compare with the $5,000 if I invest that at the rate of 2% per year, right? So I just calculate the future value of both of those, okay, remembering that this is a present value and this one's a payment, okay, and again, I probably want to enter both of these as negatives. That'll give me a positive number here, so, okay, so that's the first two ways to calculate it. The last way then might be the easiest way, and so I'm not going to really spend a lot of time explaining that, but it's just simply if under the proposed loan, let's say you took the $5,000, okay, and you borrowed it. So you added it to the loan. If you had enough equity in your house, they might let you do that. And so you borrowed it. So you have a $105,000 loan at 4%. Then all you have to do is compare the two payments, right? So set it up just like you would up here, just like you did up here, but change the second loan amount to 5,000 more. Okay, your numbers are obviously different, and then calculate what your payments are, and then see which way is the better. So in the end, please come to a conclusion. Please let me know what you think. If Ole and Lena should refinance, and it may differ with the answers. I don't think it will, but if it happens to differ, you may say, well, under options 1 and 2, yes they should, or 3 they shouldn't. Okay, and so walk me through that and determine whether or not Ole and Lena ought to refinance their house. Thanks for doing that. Ole and Lena are a little dull, and sometimes they need a little bit of help with some questions like that because they also don't know what Excel is, let alone have Excel or a financial calculator. I could tell Ole and Lena jokes, but I better not. Thanks, and have a great day.